welcome back. It is the Vegas Take Sharp and Shapiro. I don't know where Sharp is. He just leaves the studio whenever he wants to. I think he goes to the bathroom about 8 times per show, but that's okay. I'm used to it. Anyway, welcome back to the show. That was a lot of fun having Frank Marino in studio. You know, we've talked a lot about, sadly, about Kobe Bryant over the course of the last week and a half, the terrible tragedy where he and his 13-year-old daughter, Gigi, along with 7 others, lost their lives a week from Sunday. And, you know, we're learning more details about the helicopter crash. We all want to know how it happened, why it happened, could it have been prevented? And sadly, it does seem like it should and could have been prevented. But, you know, we had Oscar Goodman on the show last week, former mayor of Las Vegas. He talked about what Kobe Bryant meant for Las Vegas. I've interviewed Kobe Bryant on a number of occasions, but I love hearing these local stories. You know, how Kobe Bryant helped pave the way for women in basketball is unprecedented. He's done so much for the WNBA and just women in general, and what he was doing with his daughter and the Mambasita clothing line that was going to come out. It's just so sad, but I think it's important to share these personal stories. And the young lady we have in studio with us right now, her name is Jennifer Miller-Gonzales, and she helps run the Las Vegas Women's Basketball League, and she wanted to share her story about Kobe and how it helped influence her doing this. Jennifer, go ahead and put that microphone up to your face. How are you doing, by the way? Thanks for coming in.
I'm doing amazing. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So talk to me first about the first time you met Kobe Bryant, and what was that interaction like with him? Talk to me a little bit about that.
Sure. So I was actually a student at UNLV at the time, and I was a sports reporter for our university paper. And I was lucky enough to get a press pass for the 2008 Olympics as they were training here.
I was there for the FIBAs.
Yeah.
That was unbelievable. I'll never forget that for the rest of my life. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. It was amazing. Yeah, definitely. It took you back to that time initially.
I watched LeBron. Sorry to interrupt, but you reminded me of something. I watched LeBron James and Kobe Bryant scrimmage against each other in a high school gym, Valley High School, in 2008.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that for the rest of my life. In fact, that picture I just showed you is when I interviewed him during those practices. It was unbelievable. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no worries, because definitely it was my only interaction, really, when I did get to meet him. And as he was sitting there, he was talking about the Olympics, talking about his mindset and, you know, definitely what it would be as a veteran on that team to be able to lead a group of all-stars, the best basketball players in the world, and how he was going to approach that and what it actually was going to take for him as a leader and as a basketball player. And obviously, I had already respected him as a basketball player, but definitely that respect was elevated that day in regards to looking to him as a leader and just as a man. So
explain to me how that conversation and what Kobe Bryant meant to you, and was that part of the reasoning why you put together this Las Vegas Women's Basketball League? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was a huge component to that because he talked about thinking outside of the box, being able to see things before things happen. And at that time, I had just moved from Texas. And I grew up playing basketball. I love basketball. I still try to play, and that's essentially how that happened. Is I was going to every recreation center, every gym, looking for a women's basketball league to play in, and all of them essentially laughed in my face and said, "Women's basketball leagues don't work." So
who are the I'm not asking you to name names, but I think that's a ridiculous thing to say.
Yeah.
Who actually? I mean, not who, but where you go? You going to like local YMCA's or workout places, and you're trying to. So you're saying you're trying to organize a women's league basketball. And by the way, there's plenty of women in this town that are good basketball players, and you're going up to these directors that deal with these types of things, and they're basically laughing in your face, and they're saying no, it would never work here.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was very disheartening and angry. I was angry because they were essentially telling me the reasons why. I was like, wait, you're meaning to tell me that there's no women in Las Vegas that want to play basketball, that want to hoop? And they were like, well, we've tried it, but they don't show up. They're unaccountable. And so again, too, I'm like, wow, you're talking to a woman, right? And so, so at that point, I was just looking to join a league. So I went and I started to play in men's leagues because I was like, dude, I just want to play. So I went to the men's leagues. I started playing. That's what we had kind of like, we were alluding to. I was playing in the men's league at TARC.
Right.
But of course, I don't blame them at all. They see a little Asian person, she's a woman. I was treated differently, not by everybody, but by a lot of people. Like, she can't play. What is she doing here? Why is she here? Let her shoot, that kind of, that banter.
Let me just say this, because I used to officiate some of those games.
Yeah.
And listen, The majority of those guys are good dudes. Don't get me wrong, but you're always going to have one or two guys in every team that are just a-holes.
Yeah.
They're egomaniacs. They're not professional basketball players, but they think they are. They're has-beens, and it's usually the biggest jerks. They're the ones that are the worst players on the floor that I've noticed. I've had to deal with it as an official.
Yeah.
I could just tell you so many different stories of I just don't put up with it. I just throw them out of the game if they're disrespecting me.
Yeah.
But I'm really saddened to hear that they treated you that way, because what is it really all about?
Yeah.
It's about enjoying life, about enjoying the game of basketball and having fun. It's okay to be competitive. I get that.
Absolutely.
I'm very competitive.
Yeah.
But can't these middle-aged men just take a step back and say, hey, dude, what are we really doing here?
Yeah.
We're here to have fun.
Yeah. And I was pretty much like, bro, I'm pretty sure the last time I checked, we're on the same court. So, and none of us are getting paid. So.
Exactly. That's
and they didn't like that very much.
Well,
so.
that's what I would say. I would say, dude, one of us is getting paid and one of us is not. Who would that be? That would be my comeback to them.
Yeah.
I'm getting paid to do my job because I'm good at my job. You're paying to play basketball.
So.
Nobody's paying you.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I'm sorry that you had to deal with some of those men. So moving forward,
good.
how did you deal with that?
No, but I honestly, and it's funny because, definitely, again, kind of going back to Kobe's mentality, I took this whole, I love challenges. I love being taught crap too. I look at it as something that it's an opportunity for me to get stronger and get better. And I took that as like, okay, well, because there were some other girls that were playing, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure they're experiencing the same things. So I kind of took those girls off to the side and said, hey, if I started a league or if I started just get some pickup games going, would you show up? And that's kind of how that started, where I would just arrange court time and I would invite these girls that were already at the gym and say, hey, let's create this place, this opportunity for us to play where we're not going to get judged, where no one's going to yell at us, but we just come enjoy and play the sport that we're passionate about. So it was just pick up games at first, and I was like, hey, just make sure you tell whoever you see, like, be active about trying to get more girls here. So 2 teams turned into 4, turns into 8. Then I was like, oh crap, I got to get some officials here, and then that was in 2008, so around that time. And then so now there's the Women's League has 16 teams, anywhere between
awesome.
80 and 100 women that participate each season. And I'm very proud of that, of every single woman that chooses to continue to play this.
That's incredible. Congratulations on that. So let me ask you this question. If you don't meet Kobe Bryant, if Kobe Bryant never existed, do you think that this league would be happening right now?
Absolutely not. No.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so powerful. And your story is like, literally, I don't think I'm exaggerating, hundreds of thousands of other stories of men and women that have played the game of basketball, some who are even in the NBA right now. And they say the reason why they picked up a basketball is because of Kobe Bryant. But I think we need to emphasize this because it's so important. I mean, I saw Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gigi, and it chokes me up thinking about this because I saw them sitting together at an Aces game 6 months ago. Yeah. And the last thing on my mind was, boy, I better take a picture of them, because they might not be here anymore. And it's like you're never guaranteed tomorrow. And I'm sitting like 10 feet away from them, and I took a couple nice pictures of him and his daughter. Yeah. And I shook Kobe's hand, and he doesn't know who the hell I am. I'm just another idiot that wants to shake his hand. But, I have interviewed him a bunch of times, and I just wanted to shake his hand. And I shook his hand, and I said, thank you for being here. And he said, thanks, man. And he gave me a thumbs up. Thank you. Yeah. And, I wish I did say hello to his daughter, and I didn't even know what his daughter's name was at the time, sadly. But what he did coaching as a woman, what he did coaching his daughter's team and being there every day, from what I understand, and hiring an assistant coach and hiring a staff. And I watched this video the other day, Jennifer, and it kind of chokes me up a little bit because it's a video of him. He let one camera crew in there just watching one of his daughter's practices. And I saw how great he was with these girls. And he said, look, they're 12-year-old girls. You got to be patient, but we're going to work. And he was so complimentary of them, and he was so great. And this is arguably the best basketball player of all time. Yeah. And I see some of these AAU coaches, and they're so mean to these kids, and they're so different than the way Kobe was. Now, Kobe was one mean SOB on the court because he was a killer on the court, but that was different. Yeah. He was so great with these young girls. And I think he should set the precedence, and he should set an example for all these other coaches that are teaching kids. It's not about winning and losing at 12 years old. It's about life lessons, getting better, but making sure they had fun. And I'll tell you something right now. His daughter, Gigi, God rest her soul, she was having fun. Yeah. Her dad was a hero to her, and she loved basketball. And he instilled that in her. Work hard, but have fun. And that's the thing that kind of chokes me up.
And she actually, she had a huge future. She was an extremely good athlete. With Kobe behind her, when she had the Mambasita brand coming out that she didn't even know about. I mean, she could have really taken women's basketball and put it on the national
JD,
map. And
I agree.
The fact that she was taken from us early, it's a really bad thing
JD,
for a whole number of reasons.
I agree, JD, and you got to watch this video. So I'm watching this practice. He says in the video that these girls had never even played basketball a year ago.
Wow.
And now I'm watching these girls in practice, and they're doing moves that I haven't seen, from a lot of adults, like those leagues we were talking about. I mean, these girls have post moves, spin moves. He was such a great teacher, not just about basketball, but about life.
Yeah.
So what? I just said a lot about Kobe, but what are some of your things that you'll always remember about Kobe? Because I know you said you had met him back in 2008, and that's what inspired you to start this women's league. But what are some of the things that you remember about Kobe that will remain with you for the rest of your life?
I think it was, definitely. I mean, there's way too many times to just really pinpoint, but his ability to finish and rig the game, like in those moments of adversity, whenever he knew, I want the ball in my hands.
Right.
And I really think that's a mindset that we all need to adopt, to face our fears, face those hard moments. And when you do, there's so much reward on the other side.
Of course.
And so he just was such a magnificent way of displaying that on the basketball platform.
No question.
Yeah. So I think that's definitely memorable for me. I mean, we would watch those last second buzzer beaters like over and over and over again. And he just looked so poised, so ready to take on that moment. And I think that's, like I said, just such a parallel so well to life, in that we need to take on those moments. And
he was able to do that because he was so prepared. He was over prepared.
Yeah.
He did those shots, those last second shots, by himself for 2 or 3 hours before every single game.
He always was that guy.
He trained so much more than everybody else, and it was cool how he wanted to be an overachiever despite the fact that he was very talented.
It's something that you either have or you don't. And we know Kobe Bryant he always would talk about how he would always ask people, how long are you in the gym every day? Well, I'm going to be in there longer than you. I'm going to work harder than you. But the thing about Kobe is there's something, it's an it. You either have it or you don't. And what I mean by that is wanting the basketball with 10 seconds left to go in a game and putting the game on your shoulders.
Yep.
Now, there are a handful of guys in the NBA right now that are comfortable with that.
Right.
But he was so comfortable with it at such a young age. I would argue LeBron James in his 20s was not that guy.
Right.
I don't think he was ever I'm not even sure he still is, but Kobe always had that about him.
It's a killer instinct, and you can see it in their eyes. Like Tom Brady has it, Larry Bird has it. Yeah. When the time comes, you can just see their entire demeanor.
Jordan, he wanted that.
It just changes, and you can tell that they're totally determined, and not just determined, but confident that they can win this game.
Yeah.
What do you think Kobe Bryant would say if you were talking to him today and you said you're the reason why we have 16 teams and an adult women's league in Las Vegas? What do you think he would say to that?
I would probably just thank you for actually listening to me. Because I think that's, definitely his message, is just to inspire others to do whatever they want to do and be well at it. And so he inspired me. And I think that's, just our life's goal is to just have a purpose and have a meaning in this world. So.
Did you ever consider, obviously now is an extremely difficult time with Vanessa, but did you ever consider reaching out to the family, maybe writing them a letter or writing to Kobe's management and agent and say, hey, I just want you guys to know that we started this adult league because of Kobe, because of your husband. I just want you to know that, because I bet you she would appreciate that, because my understanding is she has been very appreciative, and the family has been very appreciative at the outpouring of people. Yeah. I don't know if you heard this, but they just took down all the stuff yesterday, and she's kept all that stuff. Yeah. That showed a lot of character. That meant something to me, that she really cares. Yeah. There are some people where they lose their life, and maybe that significant other, they're grieving, and in that process, they're grieving differently, and they don't want that stuff. But she wanted it. Yeah. I think that was really cool for her daughters to have that stuff, and all the notes and the letters, and it was so touching. And I've said this on the air a dozen times this week, and I'll say it again. A lot of celebrities and superstars have lost their lives in my lifetime. I've been sad, but I've never been emotional. There's a difference between being sad and being emotional. I've had several nights where I've been choked up crying just looking at the images of his family, the image. that gets me the most, and there's plenty of them.
Sure.
But it is the All-Star Weekend. His daughter at the time, Gigi, she looked like she was like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And it's a picture. They're both wearing the All-Star jersey, and she's looking up to him with this look of love, and he's looking down to her, holding her hands. Yeah. And I just see that, and another image that I put on my Facebook page. I think Gigi she looked like she was 3 or 4 years old, and they're just kissing each other on the basketball court after Kobe won the championship. And, these are images that will certainly never leave my mind, and as I'm sure they won't yours either.
Absolutely. And I think, kind of like how you said, it's a testament to the woman that she is. And probably, a big part of what Kobe saw in her initially is her ability to hold her family together and want to respect and honor everyone that loved him so much.
Sure.
She was good with sharing him with the world and knowing that he could add value to so many people.
Absolutely.
And so, I definitely, to that question, would love to. It wasn't my initial thought, but I would want it to be, carefully crafted and from our entire league because it's so interwoven. I mean, each woman adds so much value and provides a different piece to what the Women League does. Sure. We're professionals, we're wives, we're mothers, we're daughters, we're sisters, we're friends. I always say that we're pioneers within this community because we're choosing to continue to play the sport that we love while still doing all of those things.
So for our female listeners, logistically, talk about quarter length. What do you play till? Like, talk about logistics of the league.
Well, we do 2 20-minute halves.
Running clock.
Yeah.
That's standard.
Yeah, pretty standard. I mean, besides 2 minutes, second half we'll stop for dead balls and things like that. But yeah, there's like 8 to 10 women per team, so we can get some good subs and everything.
Where do you play?
We out of Hoop City.
Hoop City's nice. Yeah, I've been there before. That's awesome. Yep. Isn't that towards Henderson?
Yeah, more south. Yep. And it's only got 2 courts in there, so it's definitely more intimate. So we take up both courts, and so it's just a gym full of women playing basketball. Because at some of the other gyms, if there's more courts, sometimes they'll want to fill up the courts, get there, and I completely get it. But at that point, it's kind of like we're not worried around, we're not looking around, no one's judging us, and we just get to be there and play.
Do a lot of significant others show up?
I wish there was more.
Yeah.
But the dads and husbands and brothers that actually do show up, they are like, they'll make signs. I mean, it's cool. It's so cool to kind of see them to continue to support like their like moms, wives, or sisters,
or even parents. I guess.
Women can be very competitive. There's no question about it.
Absolutely.
Women in my family. But with that being said, correct me if you. But with that being said, I do think that women see it more as what it is. It's family. It's friends. It's enjoying the game. Yeah, you want to win. I get it. It's competitive.
Yep.
I think at times the men playing in these leagues, not all of them, but some of them, take it a step too far. They're way too competitive. They think they're in the NBA Finals. And I don't see some of the women that do play, like I said, they're very competitive. But I think they show a little bit more respect towards the other teammates, teammates, the opposing and officials. And that's just my...
Yes, there's a difference between competitive and crazy.
Right. There are some crazy... I've had people follow me to my car after games before.
And I'm like, dude, there's no scout here. You're not getting a contract.
You're having fun.
We're all good.
And listen, competition is fun.
And it's exercise. You're staying in shape.
Which I need, by the way.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, it's having a respect for people. That if you genuinely respect somebody, you're not going to follow them to the car and understand, like, hey, I think you called that against me because you don't like me. It's like, I don't even know you do.
No, I've had people. Trust me,
who you are.
Trust me, I've had people say. I've had people say a lot. I've had people say a lot worse things to me on this radio show and in basketball games. Trust me. If you're just joining us, we're speaking with Jennifer Miller-Gonzales. She met Kobe Bryant dating back to about 12 years ago, and she says Kobe Bryant's the reason why they now have this Las Vegas Women's Adult Basketball League with 16 teams. That is so awesome, man. So talk to me. My understanding is you have an event coming up on Sunday, right? Yes. Can you talk to me? Give me the specifics about this event so we can get some people involved.
Yeah, so it's actually, it's going to run throughout the whole season, actually. So each week we are doing something to pay honor to Kobe's legacy and as well as Gigi. So this week coming up, we're honoring all of the hashtag girl dads.
That's cool.
So any dad that's affiliated or associated with the league, again, to whether it's a dad, brother, cousin, whatnot, that comes and supports the league. We're going to be taking pictures. We're going to have a raffle, do some of those things. And then each week as well, we wanted to be able to donate to one of Kobe's charities.
That's awesome.
So this week we're going to do the Mamba Sports Foundation.
That's great.
So we'll have something, that everyone that coming in can do a donation, and then we'll submit it to the Mamba Sports
That
Foundation.
is so cool. That's so awesome. So give me the logistics. If people want to contact you and be a part of this league, if there is a mother or a sister or whoever that's listening right now that wants to be a part of your basketball league, give the information on about what the pricing is like, the scheduling is like.
Yep.
Who would they contact?
So they would contact me. We have a website. It's www.heroesbasketballleague.com. We're on Instagram at lvwbball.com. So essentially what happened was, and again, this is a bigger picture, but our Heroes League is our nonprofit that sits on top of the Women's Basketball League, because I have a bigger vision to want to help and provide this platform for women on all sports platforms and organizations. But anywho,
Cool.
I love basketball, so that's where my heart's at.
You and me both. We definitely have that in
So
common.
we're starting with basketball. So
those kicks are serious. Like,
yeah, these are my.
You're wearing the Kobe shoes, huh?
Those are serious kicks.
I like that.
Yeah.
The Kobe shoes. I love that. And you're decked out in your Lakers jacket.
Yeah.
If you want to watch us on
this
YouTube.
jacket is like 14 years old. So I'm this
Did
is
you
like
play,
my loyal. I kept it. Like I have a bunch of stuff. But
You played high school
I played
basketball.
in high
I would imagine.
school,
You
yeah.
were what, a 2-guard?
1 and 2. I was
Yeah.
mainly point guard.
Yep. And
Dead-eye shooter.
I was sniper. Yeah.
so you went to UNLV
Assassin.
as a sports writer, and you were
Yeah.
able to go to one of their practices, which is cool. You were probably at the same practice I was at.
Yeah.
I had hair on my head back then. But what do you do for a living now?
So I actually work at My Vegas magazine.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's
yeah,
great.
so I
you're
still
a
work
writer
in
there.
the journalism field. Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely, I love storytelling, being able to highlight the people that need to be highlighted that might not necessarily know how to tell a story.
Yeah.
And I really love that component of it. But definitely, yeah, for that basketball league, I would love for any woman that is looking to play, because I was that girl. I was that girl that was just looking for other women that wanted to play and wanted to move, play basketball with other girls.
So Vegas has the Aces, obviously the WNBA team. Do you attend?
You stole my next question.
Do you attend those games, and have you had any interaction with the Aces?
Yes, absolutely. It is so awesome to go to the game and actually see fans like super engaged.
Really?
You know, and know that they're rallying behind, this women's professional basketball team. And I think, nothing is happenstance. Like everything happens for a reason. And it was very serendipitous to be there, watching. And I took a moment to step back and go like, Las Vegas has a professional women's basketball team. I own a women's basketball league. This is happening.
By the way, JD did not mention, he failed to mention, he is obsessed with Kelsey Plum.
Oh,
He
well,
is.
I mean,
He's
she's a
obsessed.
baller.
I am definitely a good-sized Kelsey Plum fan.
And you know what? Right?
There's nothing to be ashamed of.
She's on the USA basketball team now.
Yeah.
They just played UConn.
Really?
And the UConn women's team, I wanted to mention this because I think what the UConn women did was very, very awesome. So Gigi, Kobe talked about this all the time, and Gigi did. Gigi's dream was to play for the UConn Women Huskies.
Yep.
Of course, it's a storied program. I grew up in Connecticut. Gina Oriyama, coaching out there. So they had a game last week, and they actually reserved a seat, and they put Gigi's Mamba team jersey on that seat. That was I thought that was so cool, man.
Yeah.
We cannot forget as a society. I don't care whether I grew up a Celtics fan, and I never hated Kobe Bryant. I always loved the guy.
Yeah.
We can never forget what Kobe Bryant has meant. Your story, there's hundreds of thousands of others just like yours.
Yeah.
And we can't forget that. By the way, for me anyway, it's about not just Kobe Bryant, the basketball player, but even more importantly, Kobe Bryant, the human being,
Absolutely.
and the person,
Yeah.
and the father that he was, and what he meant to people like you. You know, that inspirational, right?
Absolutely.
While we all respect Michael Jordan, and we know him to be a god as far as basketball.
Yep.
I'm not sure there's as many Michael Jordan stories out there of how many people he touched, seriously, as there is Kobe Bryant.
It's funny, not funny, but yeah, absolutely. You can definitely tell that Kobe, after, and what you mentioned, after leaving the game of basketball, he didn't just say like, okay, cool, I was a great basketball player, thanks for playing, He wanted to do more with his life.
And people said he was the
and
happiest.
he did. I mean, he won Academy Award, and let's be honest, winning an Academy Award, it's not just a popularity contest. Leonardo DiCaprio only has one, and he's one of the most popular actors, in Hollywood.
Right, but here's
he started a hedge fund. He started a media company. I mean, everything he touched. He basically turned to gold. I mean, he was very good at everything he did, and he put his mind to it.
But here's the part that makes me happiest and saddest the most, is that the people that were close to Kobe, including LeBron James, who said the other day, and I've heard this from others as well, the last 3 years of Kobe's life were the happiest.
Yeah.
They saw him the happiest because he didn't have to worry so much about winning. It was all about family. And I think that goes to show you the character that was Kobe Bryant. It wasn't about ego. He wanted to spend more time with his family, and sadly, it's what cost him his life because he was taking these helicopter rides to spend more family time. Heck, he was going to his daughter's basketball game.
Yeah.
So we only have one more minute, Jennifer, and I appreciate you coming in.
Yeah.
If you can give me the information, if somebody wants to be a part of your league, if somebody even just wants to donate and not play, or just support these women, give out the information of where they go, who they contact if they want to be a part of your league.
Yeah. So that'd be me. Yeah. The heroesbasketballleague.com, lvwbball.com. You can call my cell phone number. Can I give my cell phone number?
Sure, go ahead.
361-443-3754. It's been the same number for 14 years. It's still a Texas number. I'm a Texas gal. I'm Southern. I love it. I just, want to be able to do that. I have my shirt on Sundays. It's every Sunday. On Sundays,
awesome.
we wear sneakers. You can come hoop with us. That's our tagline.
That's awesome.
And so, And I want to shout out my kid because I actually did. His middle name is Bryant. I was pregnant with my child whenever I talked to Kobe.
That's so
kind of
cool.
that was kind of the thing. I was like, I'm going to name a kid after you.
Isn't that amazing? That's so cool. Well, thank you so much for coming in. Thank you so much for sharing your story. We really do appreciate it. And we actually put up that website on our Twitter page as well. Thanks for joining us, everybody. 21-hour break we're going to take. Sean Hannity coming up next, folks. Have a great day.